everyone. We're live.
Okay. Very good.
Kat, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hey, Dan. Good. Good. Just getting ready to go put a key box on my new listing in Bellingham, my duplex. I just put it on the market a minute ago, actually. So anyway, it's 700,000. It's two single level units with two carports in between the units, so there's no shared walls. The rooms you see at the back there are storage laundry rooms for full-size laundry hookups, for full-size washer dryers. They've actually gone through and redone the whole thing. So one of the units had been gutted due to a little bit of water damage from an exterior structure that had been attached to it, and it wasn't done properly. And so they ended up having a company come out, like a ServPro type company, come out, and they stripped it. They gutted the whole unit. And so at that point I said, probably should just go ahead and update both units at the same time. Why split hairs, make one look really nice and then leave the other one in original 1970 version? And so 1971 is when it was built. And so they did. They did both units. So everything's new. New appliances. They have beautiful vaulted ceilings in the great rooms. So the kitchen, living, and dining are all one nice big room with vaulted ceilings. That you can see the sliding door, the brand new sliding glass door there going to the back patio. And again, these units are identical. One of them is staged. Unit A on the left is staged, and that's the one the key box will be on at 3:00 today. But these make ideal rental units. There's a couple of other duplexes on that street, and one of them had been remodeled a number of years ago, and they had tried getting $2,500 per month for those recently and failed. I don't think they're updated nearly as nicely as these units are. So I'm fairly assessing them to be able to get $2,200 each. And I think that's a pretty realistic. You might be able to get a little more just because everything's brand new. So appliances, the flooring, this got vinyl wood plank flooring throughout every room. So it's so cool. Anyway, both units are like that. And then you've got additional parking there for 2 additional cars per unit. So you have total parking of 6, 2 in the carports, and then another 4 cars out front. And so without using any street. So there's really not room on the street, but there are actually parking pads for the vehicles. You're not parking on the grass. You could, but you don't have to. So there's parking for 6 cars total for that little duplex. So anyway, 700,000. I think that's a sweet spot for investors. Anyway, looking forward to seeing the activity on that one. So I've got a cinematic video coming. It's not there yet, but that will be coming. I'm going to head up to Bellingham in a few minutes and pop those QR codes on. 1 for the property website, and then 2, there'll be a placeholder for the cinematic video. So when I get the cinematic video, I'll attach the URL to that QR code, which is kind of a cool thing that we can do now. So
nice. Oh, that's
got my website attached to it. So anyway, yeah, so that's what's happening. So I'm pretty excited. My clients are excited. They did a lot of work. They put in new lawn. They've done just so much work. So and they corrected all the major things on the inspection. They corrected. So we have an inspection report for buyers as well.
And they used the Windermere Ready program, right?
They did. So they were kind of trying to figure out in February how they were going to make this happen. And originally, I think they started using some credit cards and stuff. They.
Sorry about that.
Dan's phone's ringing.
It's been ringing off the hook today.
They were trying to just do a real inexpensive fix, but I don't know, Dan, if you have the original photo of the duplex or not. But it was in rough shape. Not a whole lot of real work had been done to it since it was built in 1971. There were just some additions, and they had turned one of the carports into a living area. and things. And so I had them restore everything back to original, except of course we modernized the whole thing. So I think that was the best thing to do. And they utilized the Windermere Fund to do it. So the Windermere Ready program allowed them to get enough money together to renovate both of those units. And I think they got their loan in about 10 days. And so by March, I believe it was by March, they were ready to roll sometime in March, and it's now June. So about 3 months later, it took them about 3 months to get through the whole thing. So
Nice.
Congratulations to them for getting that done so completely. And kudos to their contractor, Fernando, for keeping them going in the right direction. 100%. He did a great job. So, and so anyway, so that's my new listing. So pretty excited about that. Do you have the backside of that flyer? Oh, you probably didn't.
No, let's see here. No, I
That's
don't. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yes.
Oh, there it is.
we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
So you
hang
can
on
see
just a second, Kat. I'll be right back. Go ahead and describe.
Okay.
I'll be back in about
I'll
20 seconds.
keep talking, Dan. I'll keep the people. I'll keep the people entertained.
Okay, doke. I'll be right back.
So you guys can see that on that bottom photo there. I think there should be there's a red arrow on there showing where the location of the duplex is relative to the Puget Sound, and it literally is like just over a half mile to the Marine Drive Park right there, which also has a trail. It's like a half mile long trail, with some of it having views of the Puget Sound. So kind of a fun little anecdote. It's also fairly close to a little mini mart that's just around the corner. I want to say it's within 1.5 miles. And so that's pretty convenient as well. And it's 3 miles from downtown Bellingham. So I'm pretty excited to put that one on the market. The land there is very flat, so that yard is nice and level. The patios are separated by a fence. So they are both have partially fenced backyards. It wouldn't take much to connect the existing fences to the house, or to the duplex, so that you could have a fully fenced back and side yard. So really good sized yards for that matter. So anyway, just a quick stroll to Marine Drive. And then Marine Drive, if you walk to the south from there, you'll find yourself in Bellingham. It'll take you a couple miles, but it's only 3 miles all the way to downtown Bellingham. And it's 2.8 miles to Anthony's Hearth. What is it called? Hearthside Grill. So anyway, that's my new listing, $700,000.
Well, congratulations. It's a beauty.
Thank
I'll tell
you.
Those pictures really snap. They really do.
I think it's just turned out beautifully. The color of the paint is not exactly what we were looking for, but you know how that is when you look at a sample. So I tried to kind of leave them in control of that to a degree, and then I approved it, but they sent me the picture via phone, and so it's not a very good representation, but that's okay. It was supposed to be more gray, but it looks fine. It's neutral. And
what was it? The shirt, was it Sherman-Williams Chantilly lace?
No, they didn't know. That was supposed to be the interior, and the interior they did perfectly.
Okay.
So, but the exterior looks great. I'm not going to complain. And by the way, that's new siding. So new siding, new exterior paint, new interior paint, new everything. It's
nice.
Really well done. So pretty excited to put that one on the market. Going to kind of gauge the activity the first few days to see if we should set an offer review date or not. My feeling is that we may need to. That's my feeling.
Well, that's a good sign. That's good.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, reality is different than, can be a little different than perception. So, it looks to me like everything that's listed under 8 is moving pretty well for multifamily in Bellingham. So,
on that note, let's get to reality.
Yeah, let's
the market.
Let's talk stats really quick, you guys. I got to bug out of here, and I don't know what time is it. Let's see here. It's 12:48. I got to bug out of here in 12 minutes.
Okay, hang on here. We'll get this. So let's take a look at King County.
Okay,
let's start with King
County. So, 36% of homes got under contract within the first 7 days if they listed between June 1st and June 7th. And so that number, generally speaking, is sliding. only 42% got under contract within the first 14 days. That did encompass the Memorial Day weekend. So that number is going to be somewhat impacted by the holiday. But only 18% of sellers received 5% or more over list. That's for the last 30 days of closed sales. That's still a good number, but that number is coming down. So,
Right.
And only 27% of homes are pending with multiple offers in the last 7 days. So that's a really good number to know. That was into the 30s and 40 percentile not very long ago. And so 27%, there's no holiday or anything over the last 7 days. So that number is coming down. So it's just a little over 1 in 4 sellers turning, of those that got under contract, had competition for their property. So that's not very many. And then 1.6 months supply of inventory. And that's been going back and forth between 1.6 and 1.7 for a few weeks now. So King County is softening a little bit, even though the inventory has not increased that much. So last week, we had 468 listed in King County and 403 went pending. So it's pretty strong for pending, but it's still less than how many came on the market. So you would think over time that we might see the MSI numbers go up, the month supply of inventory. So what else can I tell you? We had, we did have 4% of sellers that got 15% or more over list price. And we had 9% that got 10% or more. So again, those numbers are coming down, but still a significant number of sellers are getting over asking price. It's just not nearly what it was.
Right. Well, so, let's take a look at Snohomish.
Okay. Well, Snohomish has 1.5 months supply of inventory. They listed 188 homes last week and 137 went pending. Again, that's less than how many were listed. So we would naturally expect to see MSI start to go up there. We had 28% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days if they listed between June 1st and June 7th. And again, that's pretty weak, especially for Snohomish County with no holiday. Just saying, it was not good. It's, getting under contract within the first 7 days. So maybe it's an anomaly. I doubt it. So 40% of sellers got under contract within the first 2 weeks. And again, that encompassed the Memorial Day weekend. So the numbers are they're coming down a little bit. So the percentage of sellers that are getting under contract is it's slowing down a little bit. So we need more buyers out there, but it is a great market for buyers. So it's getting better and better because of, all the contracts that were turned in for Snohomish County. What did we have? We had only 26% of the sellers that got under contract in the past 7 days had multiple offers. So we had 74% of contracts turned in did not include more than one offer. Oh my gosh, you guys, that's a breath of fresh air, right? For buyers, you can actually plan on going out, making an offer on a piece of property, and the odds are you're not competing. Unless it's that shiny object like that duplex I just put on the market. So you never know how that's going to go. But, Snohomish County, we got 43% are selling over asking price at the end of the day. That was for the last 30 days of sold. 14% of sellers in Snohomish County got 5% or more over. And then you got 6% of sellers that got 10% or more over in Snohomish County. So interesting data. I think just about anybody that wants to put in a financing contingency could have in Snohomish County. 74% were turned in with contracts were turned in with financing contingencies, and 40% had inspection contingencies. What's keeping that number pretty low, I think, is the fact that there's still a lot of sellers that are providing that inspection report, which is really useful. And that does encourage multiple offers because the buyer doesn't then have to go out and have their own inspection before they submit their offer. So we're doing that, by the way, on the duplex as well. So the duplex has an inspection report on it. And I will say my clients address just about every single issue, and that, especially that was on the summary page. I think the only thing they didn't do is clean the attic and crawl space. But, and they removed the insulation from underneath one of the units, and the other one didn't have any because it was they had just put in new floors and everything. So, and they had taken out the old insulation. So, but that's it. Other than that, everything else has been pretty much corrected. So, and everything's new. So there, you got to love that.
There you go. Yeah, it's a beautiful listing. Just beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. Going to go up there and put some arrow signs out. Anything else you want to add, Dan, to what's happening with the market?
Well, we did have a Fed meeting today, but you know what? Let's take a look at Pierce first, and we'll just give about.
Oh, you want to? Okay, well, you want to do Pierce? All right, let's do Pierce. All right,
let's go to Pierce. Yeah, hang
on.
So
29. Yeah, and Pierce has got just about as good a market as Snohomish and King at this point. 29% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days, so that would have been June 1st to June 7th. And then 41% got under contract within the first 2 weeks on the market, and that did encompass that Memorial Day holiday weekend in there. 8% of sellers receive 5% or more over. I consider 5% substantial. So 8% of sellers in Pierce County got, 5% or more over asking price. And then they had 24% of the contracts that were turned in did involve multiple offers. So again, about 1 in 4. And they have 1.7 months supply of inventory, which is very similar to King. So last year they had a little bit weaker market going. This year they're about the same as King and Snohomish, really close. So Pierce County kind of clicking along. I'll tell you whose market is kind of knocking it out of the park, Dan. It's Kitsap County, and I can't explain it other than it's a little bit lower priced.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at Kitsap.
Yeah, let's do that because they actually have the strongest market right now out of the 6 counties, right? So 42% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days if they listed June 1st to June 7th. So Michelle will like to hear that because she's got right now are a lot of sellers. So, and then 47% got under contract within the first 2 weeks. And again, that included that Memorial Day weekend. So those are not bad numbers.
Right.
Compared to everybody else. So they had 41% over the last 7 days of contracts that got turned in. 41% were multiple offers. So 74% included a financing contingency and 68% included a inspection addendum. And the reason I think there's more inspections included in contracts over there is I think not as many sellers are willing to do a pre-listing inspection. It's not as customary. In Kitsap County, Michelle does encourage her sellers to do them, and every single time it saves them money, swear.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, your buyer's going to get that inspection, and they're just going to hammer you. I do. When I'm working for a buyer, I go after the seller on the inspection. That's how you get more money off the price. So, you guys think about that. Sellers, think about that. You don't want me showing my buyer your house if you don't have a pre-listing inspection. Anyway, because then we are going to come after you on our inspection, unless of course it's clean, right? So then everybody's happy. So anyway, all right, Dan, I think that's about it, huh? 3 more minutes. It gives me time to pack up.
I think that's about it. Good luck on your listing.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us if you did. And look forward to seeing you guys again.
Take care, Kat. So, have a safe trip.
See you in a week.
See you in a week.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Dan.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right. See you later.